This is the Pazzi Chapel. The Pazzi Chapel was commissioned by the Pazzi family sometime between 1429 and 1430 in Florence, Italy. Its purpose was to serve as the chapter house for the Franciscan monks of Santa Croce. Although commissioned in 1429, construction did not begin until over 10 years later in 1442. This kind of donation to a church by a wealthy family is typical in the Middle Ages and later times. The family senses an obligation to share its resources with the general public. And needless to say, the prestige of the family was also enhanced by such gifts. Filippo Brunelleschi was commissioned by the Pazzi family to design the building. Brunelleschi had studied architecture in Rome and used the ideas he learned there to design this chapel. His plot had already been chosen for him since the church had already been constructed and this chapel was going to be an addition. So he took what was a rectangular space and did everything in his power to create a more square space so he could use what is very close to a centrally planned space with a dome on top. This chapel is seen as significant because it was a break from the earlier Gothic architecture towards the new Renaissance style, and today is considered a masterpiece of Renaissance architecture, where if anything were to be added or subtracted, it would lessen the effect of the entire structure. Its construction was completed in the 1460s, but because Filippo Brunelleschi died in 1446, it is believed that although he was responsible for the design, the execution was left to another architect. This building was designed with simple geometric forms, mainly the circle and square, reminiscent of early Roman architecture. The building is considered to relate to Brunelleschi's ideas of mathematics and harmonic proportions. The building is highly symmetrical. The central dome creates a square space in the center of the interior of the structure, which is flanked by two smaller rectangular spaces, which is reflected in the design of the floor, as well as the arches which are on both sides of the interior structure. The inspiration for the building's form appears to be Roman architecture, with the symmetrical spaces and centralized dome structure. The Pazzi Chapel was constructed out of masonry units and is accented on the interior by gray stone called pietra serena, or serene stone, and white plaster without any color added. The exterior, as we can see, has 6 columns, 3 on either side of the main door. Breaking up this space is an arch over the main door to the building. This arch is used to introduce the dome that is on the top of the building. On each side of the structure is the existing church of Santa Croce, and the front of the building exits to a large courtyard. The Pazzi Chapel is a reflection of the Florentines' pride in their origins. Some Florentines trace their lineages back to Gothic chiefs who destroyed ancient Rome, but many more believe that there was more prestige in tracing back their lineages to ancient Rome itself. This is why Brunelleschi's break from Gothic architecture and back towards Roman columns and arches was an expression of the city as well as the family who had commissioned the building. Having been commissioned by the Pazzi family, it was an expression of their prosperity as well as their origins as a family. It is a break from Gothic style of the time and the beginning of Renaissance architecture. Here we can see the Church of Santa Croce's plan view. Here is where the Pazzi Chapel resides. This is the plan view of the Pazzi Chapel, and we can see that with the center dome and the 2 smaller domes, one above the altar to the rear of the building and one just in front of the front main door to the building, creates a very symmetrical space. And this is my construction of the Pazzi Chapel. Here we can see the scale of the building. It's over a foot tall, about a foot wide. I constructed the columns are constructed out of dowels with little wood accent pieces that I found at Michael's. Also in the building, I used mainly the foam board, which I painted. I used a lighter gray to kind of get some of the details that are in the building. Also, I used some clay for the top piece, to fill in some gaps, and also to kind of even out the dowels, the columns that I put in. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and thank you very much for watching.